Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this reading is going to be for Monday, February 1st, 2021. And as usual, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris-Anne. And I am going to ask for a timeless message to help us heal our souls and for what we need for the day. We can have both, right? So we have the Nine of Wands reversed, and our theme is the Two of Cups reversed, and also we have the Moon. Okay, so with the theme being the Two of Cups reversed, well, goodness, this oftentimes comes in when there's been a broken bond of some type, or a relationship where there's just no longer any interest. It can sometimes just be a simple, like drifting apart. That kind of, well, I get two messages here with these bookends. But on another level, it could be an outright argument, a breakup because there was such an argument. Now, if it's nothing of that nature for you, another thing that we can always check into is if we have an imbalance going on in our ability to reach out and be with others, or maybe an imbalance in the way where we're too giving and always reaching out, and maybe even with a little bit of a demand. I mean, that can be kind of challenging to heal and go through, but it can definitely be done. And at first, the first step is to become aware of it. It's always, the Carl Jung quote that's in operation, which is, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life. So basically, your unconsciousness will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. But we have control over our fate. Of course, we do come in with karma. Of course, we all come in with places in our souls that don't know what real love is, just little parts of our souls, and we're meant to heal those places. So we will attract people who either don't know how to bond with us, don't know how to join, literally like join hands with us, and cause us to be, thrown back on ourselves. And then we'll have other places where, because of rejection in the past, we will be kind of in a little bit of a demand that people meet you a certain way in order for you to feel loved, or for you to learn how to love yourself, because self-love is always the key. Always, always. So no matter what it is, there's no reason to get defensive. And in fact, the Nine of Wands reversed coming in, I have the feeling that has us in that place where this could be a good situation where you've reached out and you've done everything you could to heal a relationship, or to come together, like a meeting of the heart at least, and you've done all you can, and now you're just exhausted, so it's time to give up. That can actually be a good thing. Other times, this can have us exhausted because we're too defensive. So if we're defensive in our relationships because we've been rejected over and over again, and what we do is we hold back and we withdraw, well, that just causes more rejection, because they can't find us. They don't know where we are, even when we're together. Everybody's experienced those type of relationships where you feel a distance, around a person, or there's like a wall that's up, like you hug someone and you can just feel this wall where you can't get through. And that's just because they're in a defense. Either they're in a place of feeling, insecure, or they don't really know how to love and open their heart, or they're distracted and they've gone somewhere else, like where they're kind of disassociated, or thinking about something else, and maybe they don't even really want to hug at the moment. It can be a million little things. But If it's a pattern with a person like that, then you no longer can connect. You just can't you can't get there. So that's, why there would be the drifting apart. Now, and I'm saying all this especially because with the moon here, that has us in that place where there is some illusion. There's some deception or just some, I think, just unconscious material. I always like to look at the wolves as being, rather than looking at like which wolf do you feed, like that's the one that will get the energy. I look at it as, your wise unconscious and then the unconscious that you need to become aware of. This would be, like your shadow work. So wherever you're unconsciously not able to receive real love or don't know what real love is, or there's been so much pain and rejection and betrayal, even though I don't see betrayal cards here. I just see like more of a drifting apart, but like there's been an awful lot of work to try and keep it together. And if that's the case and it's not going in the right direction, we have to check in. We always just have to check in. Now, don't take it personally, of course, when other people are that way with you. But we do always want to check in and see what's going on for us. Because this is also a card that is really deeply, connected to intuition. It can bring up our old fears, but it's also a card, like I was saying, your wise unconscious. Well, that's your intuitive psychic abilities. That's your creativity as well. And we've just had a full moon in Leo, which should have opened up some creativity for a lot of people in their self-expression and at least, learning how to love. And if you've learned how to love yourself very, very deeply, then you're no longer going to be taking in relationships where you either have to defend yourself or where you don't feel safe. You're just not going to do it anymore. Because there's no reason to. There's just absolutely no reason to. Let's see if there's anything else I can feel into where this may have another bit of a message. I just feel like because of these other cards, I feel like this Two of Cups reversed can have to do with just a misunderstanding. Like if you're in a relationship and the communication isn't really clear, because maybe they don't really know how they're feeling. Like maybe they don't really understand what they're doing and they're just coming from an unconscious place, based on their history, right? Like based on their own wounding. And it triggers something within us, well then we are going to have some misunderstanding, but we are going to have to, in order to heal that, we're going to have to speak up and say, hey, like what's really going on? Rather than just stay stuck in the defense. For some relationships it will be worth it, and it will open up more of a psychic intuitive connection between you two as well. Yeah, it just, that's about the only thing I can see there. I see with this Nine of Wands, if there's anything I could be missing. Sometimes I get the sense that this could just be a delay. Because the wands are so active, the energy is just really active. And this card is all about you're almost there, and it's, the completion's right around the corner, and the message is to persevere. Well, maybe with this one, maybe the message is to wait. Maybe we just don't need to rush anything, and we can just wait and see what's going on in this relationship or in these inner spaces, like inside of you where you're trying to come to terms with what's going on. And then sometimes this card, because the wands often have to do with our vitality, It could sometimes just be a day where you're just too, like I was saying before, you're too exhausted. And maybe it's a day where you want to be alone and you really want to get in touch with everything that's going on inside of you. Especially there with that moon card. I mean, that makes good sense to me. That could play out for some of you. Or some of us. This could be me when we get to February 1st. Yeah. But I think that's it. I can't really find any other way to decipher, the messages that are coming through here. But if we turn things, straight up, well, actually, there are a couple other things. Okay, so to turn things straight up, the message would be to persevere and work, keep working. Use your energy to work to keep your heart open and love others. If we were to go backwards, whoops, let's see if I can, I think I have just about enough room to do this. And let me grab my other deck here. So with the Two of Cups, if we go to the previous card to get a message, when we have a reversal, you guys know that I often do that. So this would be the one for the Eight of Wands, or for the Nine of Wands reversed. And then before the Two of Cups, of course, that it would bring in the Ace of Cups. So there's that element of self-love. So in this situation, if you're studying how to read reversals, well, going backwards from this Two of Cups would bring in that Ace of Cups. So it is more and more about opening your heart and trusting your heart, trusting yourself. And, we spoke a lot about that. Messages came through a lot about trusting ourselves in the last couple of days. So it feels to me like open your heart to have a brand new type of love in your life, to celebrate your love in a whole new way. Just have a brand new beginning that is something that you do love, no matter whether it's relationship or work or just your relationship with yourself and your relationship with life. It just, go to the place where you can really open your heart. Intend, we can't make ourselves feel anything, but what we can certainly do is be willing to love. We can certainly intend to open our heart. We can choose. We can always choose. Now, and if you're like me, you have to choose it 1,000,000 times a day. Okay, so then with the Nine of Wands reversed, to go backwards to the previous card and see what the message might be there. Well, with the Eight of Wands, it's a lot of fast-moving energy, and that could cause a person to be exhausted. Like maybe your day yesterday, was just a lot of energy, and today you're integrating, and that's why you're not wanting to be with people, because you're wanting to love yourself, and this is a day of self-care, and especially to get in touch with all of your psychic centers within. Because, this it's all about movement in all different types. And the movement towards love does cause a lot of unconscious material to come up to work with, to heal. That's why we have love relationships, They're always mirroring something inside that we're needing to heal, or to share, more joy and love in. So I think that's probably it. This just, this feels like a lot of excitement and then some exhaustion. And we have an expansive state, where our heart opens. And then we're like, oh, goodness, the contraction comes in and you're like, oh, now what? Well, you know what? Now what is that you integrate. And that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, okay, I'm going to end this reading and send you all big hugs, lots of love, and I'll be back soon. Okay, thanks.